Hello, it is 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the Minister of Trade and Tourism is touring in the Ali Sabih region. For the international scene, a group of environmentalists fight to save the forest of Libya. Welcome to our newsroom. His Excellency Mohammed Duhur Hersi presented Thursday, April 27, 2023 at the Presidential Palace in Nouakchott his credential to His Excellency Mr. Mohammed Ould Sheikh Al Ghazouani, President of the Islamic Republic of Mauritania, in his capacity as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Djibouti, with residence in Rabat, Kingdom of Morocco. During the delivery of his letter, the ambassador of Djibouti, Mohammed Duhur, was accompanied by the consular at the Embassy of the Republic of Djibouti in the Kingdom of Morocco, Mr. Sheikh Ibrahim Mohammed. The ceremony was attended by Mohammed Salem Merzouk, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Cooperation and of Mauritania abroad, Mr. Mohammed Ismail Sheikh Ahmed, Director of Cabinet of the President of the Republic, Mr. Aruna Traoré, Chargé de Mission at the Presidency of the Republic, and Mr. Mohammed El Hanshi Khattab, Ambassador, Director General of the Bilateral Cooperation at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Cooperation of Mauritania. The Djiboutian delegation took part in the joint annual meeting of the Arab Financial Institution held under the high patronage of Mr. Aziz Akanouch, the head of the Moroccan government, who read the royal letter addressed by His Highness the King to the participant on April 29 in Rabat. These are the Arab Fund for Economic and Social Development, the Arab Monetary Fund, the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, the Arab Institution for Investment and Agricultural Development, and the Arab Institution for Investment and Export Credit Guarantee. This delegation, led by Mr. Ahmed Usman Ali, Governor of the Central Bank of Djibouti, the Ambassador of Djibouti, Mr. Mohammed Duhur Hersi, the Director of Cabinet of the Prime Minister Office, Mr. Yusuf Awled Farah, the Advisor to the Arab, the Director General, the Director General of the FDAD, Nasru Habib, Awad Ahmed, the General Director, and Ali Gadle, Director of External Financing, and the Director of Debt, Abdurrahman Abdi Aden, Senior Advisors, Amina Ibrahim. In addition, the Minister of Finance of the Arab countries held their ordinary session of the Council of Arab Ministers of Finance. The meeting were also attended by the Chairman of the Board of the Directors of the 5 institutions, as well as representatives of international and regional organizations. For his part, the General Director Awad Ahmed Awad explained that a Djiboutian delegation led by Mr. Ahmed Usman Ali, a Governor of the Central Bank of Djibouti, participated in the General Assembly of the Arab Financial Institution in Rabat. He said that in this context, he was able to participate in the meeting of the Guarantee Fund of Arab countries to discuss with his Arab colleagues on ways and means to further strengthen cooperation between the institutions of guarantee. In his interview, he explained the different tools available to that to accompany and support young people in entrepreneurship in the acquisitions of social housing projects financed by the World Bank under the Zero Slums program. Chaired by the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud, the steering committee of the Independent National Evaluation on the Performance of the Education System received the report of the said evaluation during a meeting that took place this morning at the MENFOP office. Ms. Ayan Usman Abrar, advisor to the Minister and Executive Secretary of the Higher Education Committee, Mr. Atabanam Simbu, international expert, reviewed the result of the Independent National Evaluation on the performance of the education system. This was an opportunity for them to recall the interests of the Independent National Evaluation, which serves, among other things, to determine the levels of mastery of students' skills in the areas of evaluated in order to map them at the national level, to identify achievements, gaps, and learning needs, to monitor students' learning, to support school teacher and students in order to improve learning and support the training and monitoring of teachers on the basis of difficulties and gaps yet identified. In this regard, the evaluation focused on the French and mathematics competency skills following the presentations of the result of the independent national evaluation on the performance of the education system. The steering committee had very lively discussions on the causes and factors of success or failure of students to determine ways and means to remedy the weaknesses and difficulties identified. A training workshop on the design of a quality assurance systems framework opened this morning, April 23, at the Omar Gelle Ahmed Basic Education Teacher Training Center. This concept should be noted has already been developed by the Quality Observatory of MENFOP. This vast training program is therefore led by the said observatory with the support of the international consultant, Ms. Maria Jose Ramirez, will continue until April 27 and will benefit a large audience of MENFOP executives, mainly from general and technical education, the Inspectorate General, the Directorate of Examinations and Competitions, Planning, and the Observatory of the Quality of Teachings and Learning, CRIPEN, the Secretary General of the MENFOP, Mohamed Abdallah Mahyoub, the Executive Secretary, Mr. Mukhalid Abdul Aziz, the Inspector General of the General Education, Mr. Muna Ismail Abdou, the Director General of CFF, Ms. Aisha Farah Adre, sponsored the official launching ceremony of this important training. It should be noted that this training program is part of the strategy of MENFOP to develop a quality assurance framework for Djibouti to improve existing norms and standards for schools and to be in synergy with international standards. More generally, these quality assurance models will be accompanied by a communication plans for teachers and parents. After the opening of the workshop, the training session were punctuated by fruitful exchanges between the participants and the international experts on ways to improve this quality assurance framework. The Minister of Trade and Tourism, Mohamed Warsama Diriye, continuing the tour on the development of tourism, went to Ali Sabih, accompanied by his staff, including the Secretary General Ali Dawood, technical advisor, senior staff of the ministry, and the director of the National Tourism Agency, Mr. Usman Abdi Mohammed. On his arrival, the minister and his delegation were welcomed by the prefect of the regions of Ali Sabih, Mr. Migane, the president of the regional council, Sharmaki Hassan Alale. The minister of trade visited the different places and tourist sites in the Aspio, Asamo, and Dedan. The region of Ali Sabih has many sites suitable for the promotions of tourism, such as the site of Grand Bara to see the rock engraving and subscribers. With the joy, the medieval villages of the Aspio, where the annual camel ride to the capital city of Ali Sabih take place. The fortress of the Hambukta Pass, located on the entrance, is a relic of the Second World War, recently rehabilitated jointly by the associations of young people of the Water Tower. Still in the section on the development of tourism, the Minister of Trade and Tourism, Mohamed Warsama Diriye, held a consultation meeting on the development of tourism with the economic operators, traders, artisans, farmers, elders of the regions of Ali Sabih. The meeting took place at the Regional Council of Ali Sabih in the presence of the Prefect of Ali Sabih, the President of the Regional Council, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Trade, the Director of Tourism Agency, as well as the officials of the Ministry of Commerce and Tourism. The objective of this meeting was to share ideas and proposals in the file of tourism development in the Republic of Djibouti. During his meeting with the elders of the region, the Minister of Tourism and Trade, Mohamed Warsama Diriye, shared the projects that are underway. He said that the tourism sector of the regions has a significant potential for its economic development because he added the regions has very beautiful natural sites. That is why the government, under the leadership of the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Gelle, has placed tourism as a priority in the national policy of socio-economic development because it can be a catalyst in the creations of jobs and wealth. In order to take advantage of tourism, the government has committed itself to a vast project to accelerate the transformation process of this strategic sector. A mobile team led by the doctor of the CMH of Dakhil, Dr. Jama' Musa Wa'ais, went to Sankal on the day of 27 April 2023 for a medical care with the logistics support of the Ministry of Health. This medical visit is in the locality of Health and its surrounded area has regrouped massively all the populations of Sankal. The service provided by these teams were adult and pediatric medical consultations and pediatric prenatal consultations, routine vaccinations. In this regard, the inhabitant of this locality thanked the doctors in this regard and thanked the head doctors of the Dakhil and its staff as well as the Ministry of Health. The Regional Subdirectorate of OBOC closes the Tournament of Future Talent under the auspices of the State Secretariat for Sport. The Regional Subdirectorate of OBOC closed this afternoon the tournament entitled Future Talent. The event was attended by the Prefect of the region, Abdul Malik Mohammed Benoita, and the President of the Regional Council, the Sub-Regional Directors of the State Secretariat for Sport, the President of this Football League, and several other personalities of the region. The program included finals of the football, handball, volleyball to close in beauty. In football, the ace team, two team had difficulties beating for seventh team. In volleyball, the team of the General High Schools won the final against the formations of the Technical High School of Obok. In female handball, the first places went to the class of the eighth. On this occasion, the different actors were rewarded for their performance, their commitments, and their fair play, which they showed through the tournament. Honored in turn by the hands of the officials, the players celebrate this unique moment in the company of their supporters. For the international scene, Tunisia appointed an ambassador to Syria. After 11 years of diplomatic rupture, Tunisia has formalized Thursday, April 27, the appointment of an ambassador to Syria after the decisions of the two countries to fully restore their diplomatic relations. The new ambassador, diplomat Mohammed Hadbi, was presented his credentials by President Qais Said during a ceremony at the Palace of the Carthage. Said the presidency, I swear by Almighty God to do everything in my power with sincerely and dedication is to carry out the scary nation's national duty to the best of my ability. I assume my responsibility in the interest of Tunisia as an ambassador of the nations in the respect of the constitutions and the laws of the country, said Mr. Mohammed Hadbi, the new Tunisian ambassador to Syria. In response to this initiative, the Syrian government has decided to reopen the Syrian embassy in Tunisia and to appoint an ambassador soon. Brazil, young black artists side on the art market. Young black Brazilian artists are gaining popularity in the art market coming from the favela of the Rio de Janeiro. These new generations of creators are mostly self-taught. The works of Jota, 22 years old, are highly sought after by Brazilian foreign collectors. Jota and several other artists born in the slums have made a name for themselves in contemporary art fair and prestigious museums. I paint scenes from everyday life, and everything that happens here. I want to put it on my canvas. I think that what happens in the favela must be shown so that people can testify from the inside and report what happens there. This is a constant necessity for me. And to close up this edition, a Libyan environmental group is fighting to save the remaining forest rainfall is scarce in these largely desert countries, which is just beginning to recover from years of year of deadly conflict following the 2011 uprising, Friends of Tree hopes to save the remaining green space from logging development and the impact of the climate change. There is something very important in this project of protections and increase of the vegetation. It is the awareness. We need to raise awareness about the development and protections of trees. We must strengthen the relationship between human and trees. Trees have an economic, environmental, health, nutritional, and commercial values, and it is therefore vital to take care of them, said Khalifa Ramadan, president of the Associations of Friends of the Tree. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.
Bonjour tout le monde. Tout d'abord, rapidement, laissez-moi vous introduire ce qu'est D-Money. Dans un monde en perpétuelle digitalisation, D-Money est le portefeuille numérique 100% djiboutien. D-Money est une équipe des jeunes qualifiés, motivés et dynamiques, disponibles 24 heures sur 24. Ensemble, nous transformerons petit à petit notre pays vers une ère de digitalisation. D-Money